The senator has said he believes 4 Republicans are opposed to the package as it stands. Republicans have a slim majority in the Senate and can only afford to lose 3 votes on the bill. John Bresnahan, what do we know about how the Senate will respond to this, especially given the impact it will have on people who rely on things that are going to be cut if this passes?
Yeah, right. Rand Paul is right now. There's probably enough votes to stop this bill. If you take Rand Paul, you take Ron Johnson, who would not vote for this bill as it is. You take some more of the conservatives. And then there's moderate senators like Senators Lisa Murkowski of Alaska or Susan Collins of Maine. They have problems with it. There's other senators have big problems with the Medicaid portions of this bill. So I think there's, they're going to have to change this bill. The question is, and Mike Johnson was talking about it, is like, if you change this bill only passed by 1 vote in the House. If you change this bill in the Senate to get it through somehow, you lose that. If you tack to the middle in the Senate, you lose the right in the House. And that's a huge problem. That's where Trump will have to be, just knocking heads on it. But they have big problems on it. They've got major work to be done in the next couple of weeks, especially if they're thinking 2 things. One, they want to get done by July 4th, and they got the debt limit out mid-July, and that's the backstop of everything. That's the ticking time bomb on this legislation.
Yeah, Mark Caputo, I'm going to channel Joe a little bit, who would say these guys who've called themselves their entire lives small government conservatives who cast a vote in support of this bill, given what it does to the debt and the deficit. There's just no way you can call yourself a small government conservative and vote for this, and yet many of them are doing just that. So it does, Elon Musk's criticism as part of your reporting does give cover to people like Rand Paul and Ron Johnson and others to maybe be a little more emboldened to come out and say, yeah, what Elon said is right. We can't pass this. So do you think that perhaps Elon Musk's public criticism has helped to torpedo this thing?
I think it's certainly given credit or cover to the critics that you said, but let's also be clear about the history of the Republican Party. Certainly back to George W. Bush. They've been massive deficit spenders and expanders of government at the same time as presenting themselves as these fiscal hawks. The difference with the Trump-era Republican Party is that this is the first party that has said, Medicaid, it's pretty good. Medicare, pretty good. Social Security, pretty good. Don't touch entitlements. And that's where you come to this very precarious position for Republicans when they're in charge of Congress, because they basically got 3 issues that they're weighing. They have tax cuts, which all Republicans essentially have to vote for as part of their dogma. You've got deficit reduction, and you've got Medicaid that they want to continue. And in the end, the deficit reduction is the thing that's going to crater. And that is where Elon Musk is 100% right. This does cause higher deficits and bigger debt. And there's just no way for the White House to figure its way out of that. What Donald Trump is going to have to do is he's going to have to twist arms. He's going to have to do a little bit of subtle begging, promising, cajoling, the full bag of tricks he's going to have to pull out in order to get this passed. In the end, it's still a Republican Congress. He's still the Republican leader. He's still popular in the party. It does look, judging by the past, that he'll probably get it done. But just how he does it is really hard to see right now.
Yeah, so often in the Trump era, it comes down to the personal. Donald Trump weighing and leaning on some of these guys to get their votes and them not willing to cross him. One of those members of Congress, Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene, voted to pass the sweeping domestic policy bill last month, is now coming out against the legislation. In a social media post yesterday, Taylor Greene appeared to admit she hadn't read the text carefully enough and that she missed parts of the bill that strip states of the right to regulate or make laws concerning artificial intelligence for the next 10 years. She says she is opposed to that and will vote against the final version of the bill unless the Senate removes that provision. So important to read carefully, I guess, is the lesson here, John.
Willie, the jokes write themselves. I mean, this is typical of well, maybe of Marjorie Taylor Greene, but it's reflective of just how hurried this process was. It was so rushed, and some of it was done in the middle of the night. We heard Democrats complain about that, and now we're learning that some members of Congress didn't even read through the whole bill. They were their staff and missed important provisions. And now Marjorie Taylor Greene is suggesting that this is a real sticking point. So not only is it a poor reflection of how they got here, but it also again points to the challenges that lie ahead. That if the Senate's going to make real changes. Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, if you don't make this change, I won't vote for it. But we also know some other Republicans in the House Speaker are saying that if they do make the Senate makes too many changes, we won't vote for it. So, yes, to Mark's point of a moment ago, President Trump remains very popular in the party. He has an iron grip, it seems, on both houses of Congress. It's hard to imagine too many Republicans will defy him. A few do. We see Thomas Massie, Congressman of Kentucky, do it all the time. But very few do. So the odds are he'll get this through, but there's a lot of hurdles he's going to have to clear, particularly in that accelerated timetable, July 4th, 1 month from today.
Wow. John Bresnahan, before we go, where do you see this going today?
Well, I think, look, there's the two big meetings. There's the meeting with Trump at the White House with these finance committee Republicans, and then the Senate Republicans themselves are sitting down and going to talk. I think they've got a lot of work to do, as everybody's talked about. I mean, I do think they'll get this done at the end of the day, because literally they've done nothing else in this Congress. If they don't pass this, they have nothing to run on in 2026. They've done nothing. So they get this done, I think, at the end of the day. Will they have to scale it back, or I don't know, but I do think this is a big day for Republicans, Senate Republicans. They've got to get some forward momentum. The Musk thing, the Musk up yesterday really dented them. They've got problems on their right. They've got problems in their center. So, I do think this is it. Trump is going to have to really get in there and tell guys that I want this. And we wrote about this morning. You already see Thune, Senate Majority Leader Thune, going to Trump, going to his Trump card very early in this process. It's more like Mike Johnson than you would have ever seen Mitch McConnell do. So I think you'll see Trump will just batter these guys. But I think this starts in earnest today. He's really going to have to get these guys if they want to pass something along this line.
All right, co-founder of Punchbowl News, John Bresnahan, and White House reporter for Axios, Mark Caputo. Thank you both very much for coming on this morning and your reporting. And still ahead.